三千の風情願望の無名三千の少量 Necessary In the night That's my conversation It's never over yesterday I'm the time inside Combinations I'm the time inside I'm the time inside Seven Tear Fear Onda boca bello shadow Nakamona mari hando wa Kimbara hara bari jaya Naraku ni utau Konsojo There is no salvation for the arrogant. God knows there's those who would better handle that is excellent to them. 芸能の不自由式三千の風情願望の無名三千の少量 Necessary In the night That's my conversation Today we will never begin I'm the time inside Combinations I don't need your sympathy Why won't anyone leave me alone?
Hello everyone, tonight we're going to be doing our first stream fully in dream states. Last time we finished Funkeys Island, so now we can move fully on to wave 3. I can just remember where the portal because I'm thinking is I'm basically just going to alternate between the two on a basis of whenever I get one of the MacGuffins. Because apparently you do, I saw in the wiki, apparently you do have to have all 8 in order to complete the dream states wave. And since they interlock because you need to pair portals, you need to pair hoops with feathers. Might as well just alternate between the two. So I believe you get feathers from Daydream Oasis, so I'm just gonna do Daydream Oasis stuff until I get a feather, and then switch over to the Nightmare Rift. I have to get a hoop to go with it. And we just go from there. I've completely forgotten what part of the rotation I was on. I think it was probably Zhong Challenge that I finished off with this last time. But you know, we might as well just start the rotation of games fresh. Which, if it was indeed Zhong Challenge that I finished off with last time, then that also means I'm closer to getting a feather from Zhong Challenge specifically than any other game potentially. I mean, I'm probably closer just in general because I seem to do a bit better with this than a lot of the others. Definitely better at it than I am, and with that like shootout game or whatever. Or the one that Lucky has. Oh, it was my turn? Oh, yeah, it wasn't my turn yet because that was a freeze. Yeah, at least this game is differentiated from the other Mahjong game by it being 2 players, technically. Because, I mean, it's a computer opponent, but still an opponent. So, you know, it's not like they just took the game that they already had back in Wave 1 and just gave it a new coat of paint. Okay, so that's one. So 4 more times. I like the single player mode shows a little cursor for the computer opponent to make it almost seem like you've got an actual opponent. Shame that the servers aren't up anymore. Which again, like I want to say they're fan servers, but I don't know if I can stream that. Which, in granted, like I believe I mentioned this last time, I don't know if YouTube has any explicit rules against like fan servers like Twitch does, so maybe like I'd have to check what the rules are essentially. It's just immediately freezes again. Like, it would be a nice change of pace to be able to play against an actual person. Assuming that there are available fan servers that actually have people online at almost 2 AM Eastern Standard Time. Which, granted, you know, when you're looking at something online, time of day only matters for the majority of the audience ends of the platform. Like, you know, it could be wee hours of the morning in your time, but if most of the people that go on a server are way over there in a completely different time zone, the server could very well be hopping at 2 AM your time. I got a daydream tile for my insane high score, but no feather. It's time to do a third time. Potentially even get another Other tile. Which my crib has like a whole row of arcade cabinets from one specific game. Blossom Boogie, I believe it's called. It, back in Colby Basin, gives you an arcade cabinet when you get an insane high score. I got quite a few insane high scores before I got on the gym chart for it. And it seems like an insane high score for this is somewhere in like the 5,000 or 6,000s. Which, I mean, since getting the MacGuffin that lets you progress in the storyline is based on cumulative score. Getting multiple insane high scores should help in getting the MacGuffin faster. Because, well, I mean, the fastest you can get any of the MacGuffins is going to be a number of playthroughs of the same minigame equal to the cumulative score needed divided by the maximum possible score for that minigame. Which is certainly going to be an insane high score every time. Yep, another insane high score. So, still no MacGuffin. I believe this is my 4th playthrough so far tonight, so 2 more times and then we move on to something else. On to whether we get a feather or not. And wait for the opponent's turn. Which it is good that they had the foresight to include single player mode, because otherwise this playthrough would basically just ended after Funkeys Island. Because I'm pretty sure like Paradox Green is like half multiplayer games, I'm pretty sure. Which, I mean, Dream State is also half multiplayer games. I'm pretty sure like in Paradox Green, like the only true games are the multiplayer ones, because that's when they had the game creator Funkeys that were a core part of the wave. Like, I think Paradox Green might actually go relatively fast as compared to other waves before it. Because I think I saw on the wiki that for the game creator Funkeys, there's no score requirement, it's just create X number of games. So, you know, assuming that that works and is fairly quick to do, it might only take me like a few minutes to get like halfway through. I miss. The time bonus. Go for the freeze. Shuffle and then... Oh, the shuffle actually got it out of no more matches. Gonna do this one more time. But you know, the nice thing is that pretty sure both of the dream states have portals directly to the other one in the realm. You know, in the zone. So should be fairly easy to switch over or between either one of them. You know, in the middle of a stream. Give it a good shuffle. There's a time bonus I could have grabbed. The computer opponent doesn't seem to go for time bonuses. It'll go for freeze for some reason. So, you know, if you spot a time bonus on not your turn, then that'll just be easy pickings for things for your next turn. You know, in single player mode specifically. And no more matches. Game is over. Still no feather. Even though I got yet another I guess I'll just get this out of the way. go ahead and play. Single player rainbow shootout. Yeah, love when just clicking does nothing. Yeah, this is almost certainly going to be a game that I have to do like an entire stream of just to finish the wave. Because I'm getting like 1 point per game. Well, I managed to save that one. Oh! When it's a low enough ball, you don't even... Like, you only have to click if you need to dive or jump. But getting decent at one side. Oh, now I'm actually doing kind of well. Of course, I jinxed it. So now... Now I'm not gonna get a single other goal. Okay, so it seems like aiming for this corner is like maybe a blind spot for the CPU opponent. You know, it's also interesting, like, this is seemingly a game that is meant for you to predict the opponent's moves, but is nigh impossible to actually do that, because hardly any information is available. Like, I mean, when you're on the kicker side, it kind of seems like you're supposed to be able to, you know, aim your shot based on like where the goalie is. Except here's the thing, the goalie is at all times, when you're actively aiming your shot, a static image. Like, Shootout Showdown from Neopets the Forum the game. The name this is not. Even though it kinda seems like some of the strategy might be similar. Except I didn't give a single goal, despite going for the same strategy I was going for before. Well, at least I'm getting pretty good as the goalie, which means a fairly reliable 5 points. At least it's almost time to switch over to something else. Since this is my 4th run through. No Rainbow Shootout for tonight. Alright, fifth time, so at that time it just completely missed because it went too high. Okay, aiming for the corners with like just barely a little bit of yellow visible seems to work. Like that seems to be the AI's blind spot. You can even go for like a little bit of orange. Just like not full power. And sometimes it'll still. I'll give it one save in. Yeah, just basically, like, why don't you just come over here and hand me the ball at that point? If you're just aiming for the exact spot where I'm already standing. Well, I got the trophy at least, and I can play it in my a game room. So I never have to come to this place again if I don't want to, unless it's to buy something. I also find it interesting that I've yet to see this zone's antagonist. Could just be that, like, you have to stand around for a little while to get the game to actually spawn on in a threat. And I just don't stand around enough. It gets to 21. In there. Get that to 21. Just get a couple 21s easily. Nine, 10. Nice 7. That 7 gets. That's another 21. We put one there, then I'll at least. There we go. Eight. 21. 21. An 8 there to get to the correct number. So that's one playthrough of Scoop Stacker. Throw 4 in there. You get some nice big points. That to 21. One 21. Get the triple in. That's a 14. Another 14. That's a 14. Plus time would be 22 over there. Well, I got an insane high score. Time for round 3. Go ahead and erase that one. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this might not be a good stretch to try and just... Because I've got 4 17s lined up. I could have just gotten a set of 7s. And it could have gone so well. But the 7s were just taking forever to show up. We'll get that to 21. Might as well just use that. Two 15s. So we could just get some 6s in. Oh well. Well, now I never have to play a scoop stacker again if I don't want to. Because I got the Mystic Feather. There's no like cutscene for it at all. To the extent that this game has cutscenes. See, usually cutscenes implies animation. But it's usually just kind of a message with some voice acting. So now that I have a Mystic Feather, time to head on over to Nightmare Rift. I have to start working on getting a hoop.
Well, here it is. The Nightmare Rift. Not exactly the kind of place that makes for a pleasant night's sleep. Over there you'll find the Warscape. There's no nightmare as scary as war. But that doesn't seem to bother the Snipe. If you ask them, they eat danger for breakfast. Here in the north you'll find the Heap. The place where all broken dreams wind up. Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here. The Sprocket call it home, though. Guess one Funky's junkyard is another's paradise. The Shadow Sands have swallowed up many an ancient Funky civilization, along with all its hopes and dreams. But the Tep remain to guard the secrets that are no longer secret. Or maybe the secret is there are no secrets left to guard. Up there is Haunted Peak, the stuff night terrors are made of. Even so, its inhabitants, the Vlerp, are some of the most peaceful Funkies you'll find. Too bad they're so misunderstood. We'd better get moving. But one last thing. Stay focused. Oh, and keep your eyes on the skies if you want to get out of here.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to just like be in the room when they designed this particular zone, because it's just like, oh yeah, we're doing like a daydreams and nightmares theme. What should we put in the nightmare realm? Like I'm thinking like Dracula. What do you think, Tim? And what do you want to include? War. A junkyard of broken dreams. Like just the concept of war. Oh, and also we should have a weird flesh zone that is not even affiliated with any Funky. It is just here. Like, you've got to wonder, which sort of half of the ideas did they come up with first? The really, like, abstract ones? Like in War, Junkyard of Broken Dreams? Or were they going for, like, classic movie monsters first, and then decided to spice things up? Because, I mean, like, mummies and, you know, Dracula, those are classics. Waiting eons for the return of King Funkeys and can get kinda boring, so the Tep have created the game of Pyramid Puzzler. Click on a brick to reveal the hidden images. Match pairs of identical images before your time runs out. Find the Eye of Isis, and the next box will stay open to help you find the match easier. Extra bonus points are awarded for clearing boxes beneath the top level. Yeah, so it's just memory. I could have sworn that was one of those, like, slide puzzles, but I guess I was thinking of something else. I think this is one of the zones that has, like, a fifth game that's not affiliated with any Funky. You know, that you can just play as a bonus. But you know, this should go by relatively fast because it's not that difficult of a game. Which, I mean, none of the games should be that difficult considering that this is a game that was originally aimed at children in, like, the single-digit age range. You know, I should not have a difficult time with any of them, seeing as how I'm a grown adult. However, you know, the intricacies of how invasion works, for example, still escape me. Like, well, I guess really it's not even so much I don't understand how it works, like when I was a kid, my problem was definitely not understanding how it works. I fully understand how invasion works. I'm pretty sure. It's just stupid. It is just a very questionable piece of game design. To basically create, you know, what if Space Invaders had limited resources with no clear way of getting any back? Oh, and also, the system for aiming is just, that was awful. If I recall correctly, in Invasion, I don't know if you're able to fire off only one of the two turrets. And if you can't fire off just one, then that means that quite often the other turret is going to just be wasting ammo, firing at nothing. Yeah, unless you want to wait for two enemies to be lined up exactly right. Then, what if, well, they're never aligned exactly right, and instead you just lose? Okay, don't, lose points for getting it wrong. Because I have been just kind of not really focusing on making good guesses. But, the only limitation on your ability to just kind of brute force or is that if you don't get at least some lucky guesses in, and you're gonna run out of time eventually. Which, if I just lock in, I can probably do this pretty easy. Because, I mean, even more so than most of the rest of the game, memory is a game for small children. And that's all this is just memory. If I don't get at least a nice big reward for this, I probably won't get the hoop right away, but surely this is at least good enough to get the trophy or unlock the game in my game room. Yeah, see, trophy at least. Going for the corners first seems to be decent strategy. Which, I mean, at the very top, of course it works because there's only 4. You know, it does also mean that if you can remember what's in the corners, then you can easily keep in mind, like, exactly where 4 of the things are. So, you know, you only have 4 options if you find something in a different box that matches something that you know is in a corner. I'm pretty sure, like, if there is another game somewhere in Nightmare Rift, it doesn't give you a feather. Well, of course it doesn't give you a feather, it would give you a hoop. Either way, it doesn't give you anything of importance. And it's the actual completion of the game. And the last layer. Do you guys really... Is this... Yeah, this is a memory game. Because normally... memory is played with cards. And you just like shuffle them. And then you have to match the cards. Or it's when you flip them over. That's twice. It's gonna do this 3 more times. But you can at least... Yeah, I'm fairly good at this, so... Should go by at a decent pace. You know, it's not exactly the most exciting gameplay. It's another puzzle done. Always nice when they just line up perfectly. You're right next to each other. When you think about it, like, it's arguably possible to get worse at a memory game just by playing it multiple times in a row. Because, like, if you play the same memory game enough times in a row, multiple playthroughs might start to blur together. I mean, you know, man, like, as long as I do good enough to get at least 1 point, I am making progress. You're doing well at any of the many games just means you progress faster and get extra rewards. And yeah, I've said multiple times, and I'll say again, like, that is clearly, you know, a good choice given their target demographic. It's just like, yeah, eventually, like, as long as you aren't completely terrible at the minigame, the game will eventually give you the item. Like, yeah, if you don't have skill, patience and perseverance will be sufficient. And as a substitute. It's also where making just about anything that has a puzzle aspect to it fairly brute forceable also comes in. I can play Pyramid Puzzler in my games room now. I believe that was my third time playing Pyramid Puzzler. I think I will be right back to just like stretch my legs a little bit, maybe get something to drink.
I had a comrade. I wonder what I would tell them. Yes, I knew the answer. In the break of vexation, it's never over yesterday. No, don't still see
I'm back, so time to do this a couple more times. Then if I don't get a hoop, then we move on to a different game in the same zone. And eventually, one of them will grant a hoop, and hopefully we can continue the plot. And then switch back to Daydream Oasis for another feather, and then back to Nightmare Rift for another hoop. Repeat that apparently a total of 4 times. And then be ready to move on to the final zone. Well, I guess not quite, because technically Hidden Realm is also there. But that should only take like 1 stream at most. He's like, all things considered, Hidden Realm was fairly small. All compared to the other waves, because like it had a full set of 4 Funkeys. Those 4 Funkeys are all used in 1 game, and I don't think it even has a MacGuffin. Like they just didn't have the usual gameplay loop of 1 game per Funky, and then you have to play all of the games to get the special plot progression items. And it was like, it was just 1 game. And then like there's a thing where you like use pretty much just however many Funkies you have to ascend this like big mountain for a cutscene, essentially. No wonder I saw a poll that was like, you know, which was the best wave? Hidden Realm got 0 votes. Because the entirety of the wave is just like, yeah, cool, you get a basic fighting game. And also, in a way, all of the plots more heavily paywalled than usual. Because it's not just a matter of having the Funkeys that came from the actual wave, it is a matter of quantity of Funkeys that you own. I don't know if... I don't think the numbers were that egregious, but... what is a large number of little plastic figures to purchase and keep in your home. It is too many. Varies from person to person. Depending on, both opinion and circumstances. And there's the box. You see the sword. There are bonus points you can get by matching across multiple layers. Or maybe it's just if you can do a match on a lower layer early, then you get bonus points. I'm not entirely sure if it's possible to actually do a match across multiple layers. Oh yeah, of course I saw the bracelet in a corner because that was the bracelet in the corner. One more time. Real nice when they just line up nice and easy. Just make things real simple. Being able to click on two things that are right next to each other. And get a match. Clearly it's possible to match across multiple levels. Because you can attempt it. That implies that sometimes it works. Granted, I mean, you know, some video games, just because you can attempt it doesn't mean it will ever work. Like, you know, look at just about any point and click adventure game, and you will find plenty of things that are just like, yeah, you can try. It's never gonna work. Because it's not the exact solution that they expect from you. But you can certainly try. Just the only thing you're gonna get out of it is the confirmation that you need to try something else. And yeah, that goes for puzzles of all kinds. Oh, they goofed. There's like a tiny bit of like red pixel that leaks out of specifically boxes containing that image. That implies interesting things about the way this entire minigame is designed. It implies that like the images are always loaded in. You just have to remove the top of the box to see the image. Rather than it being a case of like, you know, we'll show the image when the box is open, but leave it completely invisible otherwise. It's either that, or for some reason, yeah, because clearly all of the boxes use the same picture. Like, the boxes themselves all have the same sprite. But because there's some extra pixels on this specific image here, that like leak outside of the intended dimensions of the image, you can see some of the red outside. Because the image is still loaded in at all times. Technically, if they had just programmed it to deload the image and just to store like a variable to tell you which image to tell the game which image to display. And call on that function when the box is open. Time to switch over to Sprocket. Play some Rock'em Sock'em Sprocket. When a Sprocket gets a bit rusty, they will challenge a friend into Rock'em Sock'em Sprocket in order to knock some of their bolts loose and get the lead out. Dodge. You can dodge to the left or right by moving your cursor quickly in the desired direction. Enemies get tired if they keep missing. Jab. Hold the mouse, drag it up and release. Hook. Hold the button, drag it across the screen and release. Headbutt. Hold the button, drag down and release. Uppercut. Hold the button until you have powered all the way up, then drag up and release. Power. Hold the button longer for more power. Any attack is more powerful if you hold it longer. I'm just gonna do what I do in most fighting games and just spam the same move. Hardly bother with dodging either. Oh, round 2, now it's a rarer Sprocket. Yeah, because I can just quickly punch. Okay, this is a bit of a problem. But this would be so much better if it had, keyboard controls. It also doesn't help that this dude just hits really fast. The comparatively, opponent number one is just kind of pathetic. And also, this is apparently the one game where your score actually goes down some when you take damage. So this is actually the one where performance matters the most. Granted, you know, I'm sure they didn't make it to where you could ever lose so many points. From taking damage that you end up with like 0 or negative points. You just... like, don't even bother with the power mechanic, just spam punch. Well, I can play it in my games room now. Yeah, just... Which, I mean, you know, it works for, like... Which, you know, punch really fast is a winning strategy for, like... At least three different JoJo characters? So, I mean... Granted, you know, I'm not doing the inputs at literal inhuman speeds. But just unlock the opponent via spamming the basic punch seems to work relatively well. Like, don't even bother with the power or mechanic. Like, no power mechanic, no other moves, just punch. You see, like, this is the one time so far that just spam punch has failed. Honestly, it's kind of sad. Like, they cooked up all those extra game mechanics. And then, like... Well, congratulations, you've earned the painful night's sleep for your insane high school. You see, like I can get an insane high score. Just by like channeling Star Platinum and just spam punch. And to the fastest speed I can muster. like, you never know how many painful nights sleeps like they might be able to rack up. Like, I guess basically it just depends on how many punches the CPU opponent manages to get in between getting stun locked. And like, it's not like they, and like, as far looks of it, the only difference as you progress in difficulty is just like the CPU gets faster. Like, it doesn't start pulling any like clever moves, it doesn't gain any new mechanics. It is just faster. And I might actually be able to win against was presumably the final opponent this time. I think they might maybe punch harder too. Or the game could just soft lock. That's also a possibility. Yeah, I think I was supposed to go down and then something broke. Because I have no hit points left. poor guy never stood a chance because I can just. Which, I mean, you know. I've had at least a decade to hone my skills with the mouse more than this game's target demographic as well. Which makes you wonder, like, what is the online like for this? Like, is it just who can spam and the basic punch faster? Or is there actual, like, strategy? When you're playing against an actual person. It's really nice that you get restored to full hit points every time. So you could be almost dead, and as long as you get the last hit in, then you're good. Of course, you know, that also applies to the opponent. Yeah, this one for sure is going to give me an insane high score, so another painful night's sleep. And if I also means that this is probably going to be my best bet for getting the first hoop. Yep, congratulations, you've earned the painful night's sleep for your insane high score. had to do it a fourth time. Because yeah, I'm not going to count the soft locked one because I didn't submit a score, I don't think. Like they put in the effort to include like, oh yeah, you can dodge and you can headbutt. No, the optimal strategy seems to be just spam punch. You're just aura, aura, aura. They even designed the CPU opponent to basically do that. Because again, like the CPU does not seem to have any different routines, it just goes faster and punches harder. So basically, by spamming punch, you're just fighting fire with fire. Like, so this is basically just, you know what it's like to play like an aggro mirror match in any card game. Just, you know, it's not a matter of keeping your opponent from, not a matter of stopping your opponent and from hurting you. It's a matter of killing them fast. Although the CPU does dodge sometimes. So there is that to consider. You know, it's also also good when you're designing a game aimed at fairly young children to make fairly mindless gameplay a valid strategy. But, you know, kids that don't, you know, aren't, you know, ready to start picking up on, like, strategic nuance. Like, this is how they should have designed Invasion. Is, you know, make it to, like, yeah, maybe there's some strategic nuance there. If you can figure it out. But also just full aggro. Oh, spam the same move is also viable. You know, especially like I feel like if you're building a very basic fighting game for children, that is especially a good time to pull out, you know, having a strategy like this be viable. Because that way you can make the fighting game not frustrating for the kids that don't want to think, they just want to hit things. You know, the kids are gonna be like, I want to play that because I want to punch. You know, and you know, I can see that it's a game about punching. Which, like, I feel like a lot of the games that lean more towards, I guess it's not quite like the more complicated games that lean heavily on like thinking things through tend to be aimed at an older demographic than UB Funkeys ever was. You know, something like Magic the Gathering, for example. Which, granted, like, most of why Magic is rated as being 13 plus is because, like, I guess some of the themes more so than the gameplay. Like, you know, some of the themes and illustrations. And are, you know, deemed to be mature. Which, I mean, especially if, you know, especially depending on, you know, when they started rating as 13 plus. There's some old Magic art that's interesting to have in a card game played by children. Harsh, cold environment, and of course are not good conditions for growing vegetables, but the Vlerp do try. Use the arrow keys to move Vlerp through the levels by finding the correct path. Get to the door and collect your gardening tools to finish the level before the time runs out and the sun comes up. Be careful though, some steps in the maze may disappear once you've crossed them. The more single steps you cross in the level, the more points you can earn. If you don't complete a level, you must repeat it. If you get stuck, click the reverse button to repeat the level and try again. Quick, the sun will be up soon. Okay, so clearly I need to collect all the tomato pods to complete the level. It game over because anytime you fail a level, including when you just reset it, Yeah, like, because as I was saying, like, you know, a lot of like the heavier strategy kind of stuff seems to lean a bit more towards like at least teenagers. But not necessarily because like kids aren't capable. Kids, you know, under the age of like 13 are not capable of the required higher strategic thinking. Just because of like the themes. I also don't really know if there are all that many like strategy focused games for anyone under the age of like 13. I think that could just be because most of them do, like, you know, the heavier themes kind of go hand in hand with strategy games all the time, because you know, like, one of the default themes of strategy games is war. And, you know, depending on how realistic and in-depth you get on the topic of war, things can get real messed up really fast. Well, that was a real easy one. I mean, like, a lot of the time, it's not even so much about the themes of the storytelling or whatever that results in like a high ESRB rating. Stuff like Age of Wonders, for example. It is just because, like, oh, they show blood. There's violence happening as well. Like, you know, there was violence, there was blood, and in Age of Wonders' case, there's on some occasions some nudity. If you step on the square with a birch tree, you will fly to the other one. And I messed up because I have no way of getting to that pot. Well, at least I got a trophy, and I can access it in my game room. So now to do that one more time. But you know, to get to the point I originally intended to make in bringing up strategy games, a lot of like young kids that you know, love a game that lets them do violence. And so are not necessarily gonna be the strategy game type. And so, you know, when you're making a game for kids that is technically about violence, because I mean, sure, it's boxing, but you know, that still is an activity centered around punching somebody. It is good. I think it is good to have a viable option for just sort of not like no thoughts, just punch. Both for people that, you know, that's just the kind of gameplay that appeals to them, regardless of age, and especially when you're making it for kids, so that the kids that haven't really learned how to fully think things through just yet don't get frustrated. Because, like, you know, I feel like not necessarily every kid that wants a game about doing violence wants a strategy game. In order to remain prepared, the snipe practice their aim and accuracy by playing bombastic billiards. Click and hold the cue stick, choosing your angle and strength by dragging the cue stick around the cue ball. The ball type is displayed next to your avatar, or in the lower area of the... Your ball type is displayed next to your avatar in the lower area of the screen. Try and hit all of your balls in, and finally the 8 ball before your opponent does. Don't scratch on the brake or while shooting the 8 ball, although the opponent will automatically win if you do. If you want to put some spin on the ball, try putting some English on it. To do this, before you set up your shot, move the mouse over the white ball onto the power meter. Simply move the red dot to where you want to hit the cue ball and click on it to save the spot. Oh, it just messed up completely. Also, so I'm supposed to be able to see my ball type under my avatar. I don't seem to be able to see that. Oh, okay. Now, I guess I'm on solids. Okay, I guess it's decided when... I guess it's just decided when... And the first ball is sunk. But that's also not below my avatar. So... Oh, I think where I've been messing up is I've been clicking on the cue ball and not the cue stick. Yeah, that's been my problem. Oh, I sunk the 8 ball. Yes, I'm on solids again, because because a line or stripe or whatever was sunk first. Nice, got some free points. Really hoping that 5 would go in. Yeah, sure is nice and the CPU opponent does not seem to be all that much better at billiards than I am. Of course, you know, this is also a game where you can get free points for the computer opponent being bad. Well, that's a scratch. Since a cue ball was pocketed. That was a much weaker shot than I intended. It's also interesting that this digital clock font that they're using seemingly does not have a distinct one. Yeah, why does it have... Who puts a serif on the one on a digital display? Like, most digital displays can't even can't even like show a distinction between a 1 and a 7 that way. Like usually with a digital display like that, you don't have a distinct half a line for the 1. Yeah, once again, did not put as much force into it as I intended. I'm just doing really bad on this one. Especially because I keep not putting enough force into. Well, at least the opponent accidentally sunk one of my balls for me. So at least I get 500 points. Yeah, keep on scratch. One day I'll actually sink one of my own balls. There we go, I did it. I actually did it. Now let's see if I can do it multiple times. Not quite. Well, now it's entirely just a matter of... how many balls can I get before the opponent manages to sink the 8-ball? Seems like the answer might be quite a few. I think that time I was supposed to put a little less force on it. I believe that was the third time I played this, so... time to do it a couple more times. This might be the last game of the night because it is getting to be 5 a.m. So this game also seems to go fairly long. Got one. Right, that was nothing other than I got one into what looked to be a fairly decent position and then got knocked immediately out of it. That's one. That's nothing. That's one. 2. Get it. That only adjusted the position of that one a little bit. Right, they scratched, so... Oh, of course it stops just barely. Barely before it can get in the hole. Okay, didn't sink the opponent's ball, but also it doesn't matter because it's their turn anyway. It definitely only got time for just this one last... This game of bombastic billiards. Certainly going to be nice to not play bombastic billiards for over a week. Well, not quite, because I'm gonna try and do the next Funkeys stream on Monday. The only reason I'm doing it now this week is because I didn't stream Monday. Yeah, the music's starting to wear on me. I don't see an option to turn it off either. Like, I guess technically I could just mute the game itself. But then I'd have to turn the music back on. Which actually... to just mute the music, I'd have to go for a specific setting within the game itself. I mean, I think it's because, like, you can either mute all music or none of the music. Like, there's no option to mute just a specific game. Didn't put enough force on that one. To hit the other one. Well, it kinda did it. Didn't do what I wanted it to, but at least didn't sink an opponent's ball, so... And the opponent scratched immediately. So I can easily just line up a shot here. And then mess it up. And flub another shot. Alright, that's a scratch for the opponent. And that's a scratch for me, because the cue ball just bounced all the way. Basically just set up the 8 ball for the I can turn off all of the game's music. And that's it. But, you know, I'm getting a guaranteed break from hearing that until the 17th. So... And then, you know, after the 24th, it's going to be even longer before I hear it again. Assuming that I don't get, like, the hoop from Bombastic Billiards on the 17th, or the 24th, or the week of. You know, for some reason I don't stream on Monday either of those weeks. Thanksgiving is the 27th. Because I was wondering if I was going to have both the Thanksgiving stream and the Avatar The Last Airbender draft in the same week, but apparently not. Because Avatar drops on Arena on the 18th. Thanksgiving is on the 27th. Granted, I would be doing... Granted, I do the Thanksgiving cooking sim stream the night before. Like, I think honestly, like Thanksgiving cooking sim might be the last so stream of the month, and I'll just, you know, take Thanksgiving Day off. That basically means that for the most part, like, so basically there's effectively 5 more Nostalgia November streams left for this year, at most. I think I'm gonna have to pick and choose what I'm really excited about out of the stuff that I have prepared, because I prepared way more than I can really fit in 5 more streams, I think. Unless I just, like, combine some. I'm to narrow it down a bit. I think tomorrow will be some modded Age of Wonders or Shadow Magic. Since I've been planning that since and it's like, yeah, that was something that I had planned for last week, and then, like, things happened. I seem to definitely be getting used to being on this platform, at least, so... Anyway, thank you to everyone who stopped by tonight. Next UB Funkeys stream name is planned for the 17th. Next stream in general is planned for tomorrow night with modded Age of Wonders Shadow Magic.